We're going to do another lesson here, page 17 through 19, and page on pace 1126. And then you'll be ready for your first checkup in this pace, okay? Page 17 explains that lines also represent what's called direct variation. And so points on the line we could set up into a ratio format. And then if we didn't know one of the points, like -1, and we don't know what the y value is, we could actually calculate that using a very simple method. Okay, I love ratios, and that's what we have here is a ratio. So there's some new terminology here, direct variation and taking these points. I notice, and the significance of this will probably be pointed out in the future, but all of the lines on page 18 and 19 I notice are going through the origin. Did you notice that? But anyways, let's take a look here at, I'm just making up a problem here. This point, let's call this x1, y1, which means this will be x2, y2. All right? Then, and to kind of show why this is true, but these two fractions, these two ratios will be equal to each other. So y1 will be 6, x1 is 2, and that has to be equal to y2, which I don't know, over x2, which in this case is -1. All right? Now, here's the cool thing about ratios, and that is that the cross products are always equal to each other. Then they actually introduce a term that you may or may not know, and that is that these corners are called the extremes, and these are called the means. Maybe I have that backwards. The extremes are the y1, x2, and then the means go this way. I don't think that matters too much to know that terminology. The point is, if I multiply 2 times the second y value, that will be equal to 6 times -1. Okay, so 2, not y squared, y sub 2 is equal to -6. So we can divide by 2, and so we get -3. Aha! So this point right here would be -3. So that is a way that we can use ratios or proportions. Here it's called direct variation. And that is a term that you'll use a lot more as you get into your science courses, physical science and chemistry and physics and that kind of a thing. So it is important to be familiar with that terminology, but as you can see, solving it is relatively easy. Now take a quick peek at page 18 and 19, and you'll notice that on all of those lines, all they're giving you are 2 points, okay? Of those points, they're giving you 3 of the 4 numbers, and you have to solve to find the one missing number. This is all you need to use, okay? I'll put a box around it. Plug in, and it doesn't even matter which point you call the x1, y1 or the x2, y2, okay? That's the beauty of it too. So plug in one of the points for x1, y1, plug in the other one for x2, y2, cross multiply the two sides together, and then just solve for the variable. All right, piece of cake. Finish that, score it. If you don't understand any of those, hopefully by looking at the score key and seeing all the steps involved, you'll realize what you needed to do, and you can study and prepare and do well, hopefully, on your checkup. All right, we'll be back later. Thanks.